Hey people, Anthony 4x4Diesel. In this video we're going to cover about three really important subjects. I'm trying to keep it brief on each subject. Might be a couple other things I'm going to mention as well. One of them is going to be about how to save your engine from two perspectives. One is checking that oil pickup, how to check it, what to do and what not to do. Do not pull the sump off like this to check it. We'll have a bit more detail in other videos, so remember, subscribe, turn the bell on if you want to see those more detailed videos. But of course there's some already there. Check our playlists, injector information, that sort of thing. We've also got a playlist called Free Engines you might be interested in. So apparently I'm the go-to guy if you want something done properly on your Prado, your 1kd, maybe your Hilux, and there is another cracked piston. Obviously, we would like to explain why we believe it's happened. It's been a very long time since, when I say a long time, when you consider hundreds of thousands of 1kds, and it's been months since the last one we heard of. This one's done over 300,000 Ks, and of course it's got a tune not that long ago, so you can probably put two and two together at this stage, but let's just analyse the information. The other thing we're going to talk about in this video is buying vehicles. A lot of people paying way too much for vehicles at the moment. It's got to have a limit on it. It's got to end somewhere. In particular, the older 120 Prados, awesome vehicles, but they're certainly not worth 40 grand in most cases. Might also have a quick discussion about that almost free set of injectors for someone and what they need to do. I suppose what you need to do when you receive a used set of injectors from someone. And of course, a lot of people ask what grease we use. Well, we're refreshing a few grease guns at the moment. We like to have spares and all that sort of thing, and a few different options: straight tubes, flexi tubes, bada bing, bada boom, and all that. So as it turns out, this may end up be a longer video because I think I just worked out about 5 subjects we're going to talk about, but I am going to try and keep it short. There will be more detailed. So like I said, subscribe, turn the bell on, and if you like what you see so far, don't forget to hit the like button so the right videos come up for you. Now this is a 120 Prado. It's a 1kd engine. It's obviously in a 120 Prado, LC120, Toyota Land Cruiser, LC120. You can quite easily get to the sub-assembly and you can see the detail of what it looks like right there. We've purposely taken this off, I think it was yesterday or the day before, so it's been sitting a couple of days. Is that still dripping? Anyway, so it makes it really easy if you rip it off and you let it sit for the weekend. Then it's much easier to clean up, to stick it back on. So there's your first little tip that, you know, we may not have mentioned. People get a bit nosy and they start looking up in there and they see things and they get a bit worried. I mean, you know, it's pretty cool. Maybe we'll have a bit closer look up there soon or in the other video with more detail. But what I want to mainly say is, don't do this to your Prado. Just drain the oil and look through the sump holes. All you need to do, you need to know that it's blocked before you bother doing this. Now, this is pretty easy. You can count. There's a couple of nuts and there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bolts, is it? I'll count again to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. 11 bolts, 2 nuts. So there you go. I've always said, I don't know, there's 12 or 14. So there's 13. So that's why I'm probably going 12 or 14. So there it is for the record. You can count them yourself if you like. Get in there and tell me I'm wrong. I can't even count properly, possibly. For that sump there, you got to be careful how you get it off. Don't damage it. It just goes on with the RTV, you know, that grey stuff. You know, you can see the residual there. No need to scrape it all off. Long as it's a fairly flat, clean surface, the RTV will stick to it. If you've bent the sump at all, then just build it up a little bit. It's really not going to be a problem. This is a pretty straightforward job for people that are mechanically up to it. Like I said, I'll say it one more time. The main thing I wanted to say is don't do this unless it's blocked. You don't need to pull your oil pickup off and replace it. It's not going to make any difference because it's not going to be blocked. And if it is blocked, it's caused by a problem that can block it again in a few thousand kilometers. So you don't need to replace it. You need to clean it and you need to solve the problem. And all the information is in our injector information playlist. All the accurate information. It's been there for a few years now. And we were spreading it around other places before that. So I suppose that's about it. If you want more detail on removing the sump, in a Hilux, you're not going to be able to do this. It's a different sump. You've got to raise it. It's a pain. You don't do it. You clean it with little brushes through the hole and degreaser. There's some different systems. Get on a group if you're in Australia like Oz Hilux Crew and ask, and maybe someone will answer the question. There's plenty of other Hilux groups around that'll talk to you about that and what they did and might give you some ideas. So that pretty much covers the oil pickup. If the oil pickup blocks, The engine gets starved of oil, it can damage the engine and the turbo permanently, and it's going to cost you 20 grand. Okay, so really simple check that you need to do, or whoever services the vehicle, every service. And it's not just these engines, this is what we specialize in. Also other diesel engines, petrol engines, it's worth checking the oil pickup, especially if you don't know the service history on a petrol engine. I highly recommend oil changes every 5,000 kilometers on all engine, especially petrols. Oh, actually, and there was a petrol did another head gasket or a head the other day, so don't think because you got the petrol it's bulletproof. There's a number of problems with those. Okay, the cracked piston. The only reason we got this one sitting here, because that's the one we got sitting there. We got some other cracked pistons, but you know, we're thinking about cutting this one open. We haven't done it yet. That's why we sort of put some on. So what are we going to do? Cut it there or there? You know, then you can see because it cracks. Which way? That's the way the crack. There's the crack line again. Whatever it is, yeah. So if we cut that way, a couple of different ways, sections where we can see the crack. So anyone in the engineering game around Melbourne that wants to put a saw through that, you've got some awesome equipment, doesn't mind cutting that for us so we can put in a video and show people, let us know. Otherwise, yeah, we'll find someone sooner or later, but it's just on the back burner like plenty of other jobs. So what we've got is, we've got a gentleman in New South Wales who picked up a Prado. I think it was only about a year ago or so. It's 2015, so yep, last of the best, but over 300,000 kilometers before the injectors got changed, and it also got a tune from a place on the Sunshine Coast. I just wouldn't worry about it if I was you. I would leave it standard, but you know, let's not really go into it too much. But it's got a tune, and it's also, so there's two factors there. You've got, so the injectors were changed only 5 weeks ago, right? So that's great, but way too late. That even rhymes. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. It's great, but it's way too late. Anyway, you get the picture. So just be careful of those tunes or remaps, chips and that sort of thing, because this is usually, most of the ones that we hear about have got this done to them. And if it's not, it's old flogged injectors, or they're in there way too long, already done damage. Just think about it, really. I mean, hundreds of thousands of kilometers on these vehicles, years. I mean, there's 120 Prados driving around, 99% of them are still driving around. Some of them have got half-blocked oil pickups. Nobody knows what's going on, you know. So look, send the information to someone, try and help them out. Anyway, so we've got a crack piston job coming soon. We're ordering an engine for that. We're going to get that engine in there for him. He just wants to get it done right. As I said, I think we're the go-to people if you want it done right. So he's worked that out. He was trying to get the injectors replaced earlier. It would have been too late anyway, but you know, the sooner the better, right? He was trying to get them done sooner, but your local said, "No, what are you worried about?" Because they're all too busy. They can't fit the work in, so they tell you it doesn't need it. So pretty much that's what happened, is my understanding of the situation at the moment. And eventually he got someone to do it. They did the job, but who knows? He didn't get injectors from me, so who knows? We've talked about that remanufactured injector situation. There's so many, mainly for the 1kds and the 1vds, the V8s, they're doing them as well, yep, because there's a shortage of those injectors as well. So look, who knows what they got and where they got them from, which is why people come to me Monday mornings with that text message to get the injectors. Now, it doesn't bother me. Only the people still listening are going to be able to do this, and people that text me at the right time and don't text me at the wrong time, unless invited to text me at a different time, you know, that sort of thing, right? So our times, please don't text me between about Wednesday lunchtime and Monday morning 7:30. And the phone number's for parts orders or to book into the product. It's not a tech hotline. All our groups pages and information we've already provided should give you enough information and training to diagnose most, or if not all, your problems with your 1kd and many other vehicles. The information is relevant to all the vehicles. So I'll let you know a bit more on the crack piston later in another video, right? Let's just quickly touch on buying and selling vehicles for a minute. Again, we're going to try and keep it short. So recently we had an awesome, he's a client, I almost want to call him a friend, but I've never met him. Sounds like a top bloke. People I know have met him and all that. You can just tell how people write, how they roll, how they behave. But he's a client. He had this awesome straight 120 Prado. Loves it like all Prado owners, especially 120 owners, love their Prados. Got the injectors done recently and some other work. Spent quite a few $1,000s on the vehicle, and then got sideswiped by a truck or a bus or something. Not good, right? Now, it is repairable, but the insurance company, they want to write it off. And of course, this is the problem. You can't get things fixed at the moment. There's a shortage of everything everywhere, which I believe is only going to get worse. So just be aware of that. Be careful, be prepared. That's the other thing to think about. But when things go bad, then things will get cheaper. So that's what we want to touch on. So don't get caught out paying too much for everything at the moment. Maybe hold position, and that'll probably help with inflation as well, because, you know, when you stop buying stuff, you know, then the prices will go down because it'll get more competitive. Because at the moment it's like, mate, you just charge whatever you want, anyone, you know, it's just a bit crazy. But back onto the 120. So as it turns out, you know, the insurance companies probably know they can't get all these things fixed. There's not enough workers, skilled workers, people to get jobs, especially if you get it done right, because then there's just warranty claims coming back for seconds and thirds, and it just keeps your business even busier. So it's really important to get things done right the first time for efficiency purposes, you know, and keep everyone happy. Customer service. That's why you always get a response from me on a text message sooner or later, usually sooner rather than later, depending on what time you text me. If you text me at the wrong time, you might not like the response you get. It's not going to say, hey, you can GGF or anything. It's just going to say, look, you know, if you watch our videos, you know what times to contact me and what times not to. We've got Facebook pages that have got the operating hours on there. I clearly say a number of times, don't bother me anytime, Thursday, Friday, Saturday or Sunday. It's a one-person business. I've got a lot to do and I need time to do it. I can't just text people all day, every day. There's one of me and there's hundreds of thousands of you. Think of it this way, right? So of our videos, so let's say we've got about 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, something like that, right? And of the videos viewed, about 33% are subscribed. So that means there's another 66%, if you like, and they're not always the same people, they're going to change. So really there's at least 200,000 people, probably even more, but ballpark numbers watching my YouTube videos, right? Some come and go, they're busy, they don't subscribe, and it's a bit crazy really, because when you find a good channel and good information, you need to be all over it and prioritize your time to that, is what I think anyway. Stop wasting your time watching 24/7 or whatever it is. There's plenty of other crap you can watch as well, right? But the thing is, there's hundreds of, and then we've got our Facebook groups and pages and all that, and then all the people that aren't even on Facebook and YouTube and whatever. So, you know, there's not a million people, but there's thousands of people I've got to deal with. So you've got to understand, I've got to have systems in place to do that, and that is doing this video right now, sharing the information so that you know how we roll. Because, and you really want to know, because when you get in trouble with your Prado or your 1kd or anything else, you really going to know that information so you know what steps to take straight away, or if you need to contact me, when to do it and how to do it, so that you don't sort of get in the bad books, you know. Not really, but you know what I mean. So don't take it the wrong. And text messages are just writing. There's no tone. There's no. I'm not cranky. I'm not upset. Every now and then, you know, so 1 in a million, whatever it is, 1 in 1,000. Someone might think. Don't take it the wrong way. It's just words, and I'm talking to the phone because I'm busy, just like this. Yak yak yak. No punctuation. That's what it's all about. I'm talking to the phone. And thanks for watching this video so far. So on the 120. So this guy, awesome. Can you just imagine an awesome clean 120, right? In this market. Yeah, I mean, as stupid as it sounds, probably worth 40 grand because people are paying drug money, and of course then people can ask drug money. So this is the point, right? As far as I know, if I got the story straight, he's getting paid out 37, which would sound reasonable, but it's not reasonable if the car he's looking to replace it is 39 grand and needs work, right? So straight away, right? But this is the problem I've got with the whole thing. A 120, awesome vehicle, but they're still 15 years old, okay? It's 2022 now. They finished in 2009. So, you know, minimum 13 years old, maybe 14, maybe 15. That's an old car, an awesome old vehicle. We've got an 08, it's awesome, it's not going anywhere. But, and if I wanted to sell, it'd be well over 40 grand, and this is my whole point. And like I said, there'll be a more detailed video, and there is already. So check out, you know, check the previous video, search buying or selling, what Prados, search less words and see what comes up. Check out those videos if you want more info. But obviously I can only do what I can do. I'm trying to average it out at about a video a day. If you haven't worked it out yet, we're doing random times, random days again at the moment. So anything could happen, including live videos. So make sure you subscribe with the bell on so you don't miss those live ones. Point is, his car was better than the ones for sale. So he didn't get enough money for it. So that wasn't really fair. It wasn't even his fault. When it's not your fault, you should really get looked after. Whoever's fault it is, it's up to them, their insurance. They can pay the excesses and foot the bill because it's that person's fault. That's how I think about it anyway. So if you're not at fault, you need to really stand your ground. You need to look at what you would buy, what's for sale, and go, look, the cheapest one that's suitable that I can find, it's $40,000 and I've got to spend another $8,000 to get it to my standards. So I'm up around there. And you know what, in most cases, market value is market value. It's negotiable, and it's your vehicle's market value, right? Not, you know, whatever they feel like and less suits them, you know what I mean? It's got to be enough to cover the vehicle. That's what market value is. You can go for agreed value, but make sure you got it right, and you might pay a lot more for it sometimes. Just be very careful with that. But my main point is, if you're going to pay 40 grand for a 120 Prado, and then you've got a look, you know, oh, it's had the injectors done. Well, but where do they come from? Are they remanufactured? Who did the work? Did they clean it properly? You know, we can't rely upon the workmanship at most places or the parts supply. So you can't really give it any credit other than, well, when were they done? Well, at least something was done, hopefully. So it's helpful, but it's not adding 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 grand because we don't know it was done right. Unless it was done by someone that's one of our workshop partners or someone that's on channel that says, yeah, I'm totally with you. They're subscribed, they're watching the videos, and they say, yep, we get the parts off you, which means they'd probably be a workshop partner because they're so close to be on channel with us. And it's a good way to be. It's like a free franchise. Why wouldn't you be that? Why wouldn't you contact me and say, hey, I like the way you roll. I don't want any of that re-ramp man crap. I just want you. I like the whole kit. I like the one person to get the whole lot, the customer service, the information, the VIP group, the people, the whole community. You just want to be part of it. Everyone loves it, right? So the point is, you know, this year, I purchased a Prado, got a Prado, purchased it the year before. I know someone else that purchased a Prado, even better, $61,000 for a GX, right? Some people will go, oh, but I need the, you don't need nothing, mate. A 2022 GX, and I'm telling you to buy one, I'm trying to point out, it's got a lot more than an old 120 VX top of the level. Do you know what I mean? It's got the traction control. It's got, you know, it's got all the reverse camera and the bit rear, cross traffic alerts, all the crap you don't need. It's got all that, right? So it's got the camera, it's got the radar cruise that you don't need. It's got all these annoying technology things, right? But it's not too bad. But get the GX, value for money. Only buy the GX, people. You can modify the suspension with any KDSS stuff if you're going to go off-road. Hey, if you're a Touareg tractor, go get the Grande VX Kakadu, whatever you want, no problem. VX is actually, I think they got rid of the KDSS, didn't they? Yeah, they're good. So that's good. So you get the VX if you want. If you're a high roller, you can get the VX and go off-road. But my point I'm trying to make is, for 60 grand, and they might even get cheaper if people, the way things are going, let's just see, right? For another 20 grand, you got a brand new car with a 5-year warranty. It's a no-brainer. Stop paying 40 grand for 120s. That's what I wanted to say. Sorry I took so long, but I've got to explain it, and I hope you're feeling me, you know what I mean? I don't want people wasting money on 120 Prados. And here's another important part of the tip for the people that hung around this long. This is going to be in the more detailed video, right? I'm going to just move on to the next subject and we're going to be done. Don't go and buy the 100,000 or the 120 or the 150K 2007 or 8 120 Prado because it's got low Ks. It's still 15 years old. It's still been out in the sun. Everything is still aged and depreciated, whether it's got the kilometers or not. I'm not worried about kilometers on these vehicles. You're ripping yourself off if you do that because you're going to pay 40 grand instead of 20 grand. Years ago, I know people that are buying 300,000 K 120s for 15 grand. So that should mean that they're 12 or 11 or 10 now. It's COVID, so they're going to be 17, 18, 19. Do that, save you $20,000 to $25,000 in your pocket, and then you can get injectors done. You can get lower control arms if you need them, but you probably won't. You can get a whole brand new suspension kit. You can get tires. You can get lots of stuff and accessories and still keep the change. I'll tell you right now. So my 120, that's old and done plenty of Ks. You know, it's got a 400 and whatever it is, right? It's got lots of new stuff. Every moving part, every bearing in diffs and bloody whatever, wheel bearings front and rear, and I could just, you know, heaps of stuff. It's like new. I go, what? You know, we just put a new turbo on it less than a year ago, right? Nothing wrong with the old one. We just put a new one on, right? Crazy. So if someone else's Prado that's got who knows what is worth 40 grand, mine's worth 50, but tell you the truth, I wouldn't sell it for 50. You want to try me? Put the money into my bank account and say, there it is, and I'll send you a refund. Now, you want to buy my 120? It's that good. You wouldn't buy it, mate. I'd sell it. I'd probably get 55, 60. Then you'd have me thinking hard then. That'd be hard not to sell it. So that's what you call bribery. You'd be paying bribe money, right? And if you turned up with, you know, and you did that, then, you know, that's a possibility. But I reckon look, there you go. If somebody wants our 120 Prado, I'd consider it for 55, but 50, try me, put it in the bank and watch me send you a refund. Make sure you send your BSB. Anyway, I'm sort of joking around there. You get what I mean? But the 120 is not going anywhere unless someone offers bribery money. That means that's the vehicle. I'm kind of going, to be honest, I'm going, yeah, it's worth 45 to 50 because I know the maintenance and I know how good the one, and I know I can't go get another one. I can't get a new one. I can't go get one that good secondhand. I'd have to go and spend $20,000 to $30,000 worth of modifications, set up, and all the. Do you know what I mean? It's the whole setup. You know, the rear storage system, thousands of dollars worth. You know, the fridge, the whole lot, mate. I'm talking about the whole car as it is, everything. You know what I mean? Bada bing, you know, scan gauge and all that stuff. You know, that's why I'd have to sit down and really think hard. But it'd be between 50 and 60, you'd probably get me. But under 50, you can just forget it. Anyway, you get my picture here, people, right? 40 grand, what you're going to get. There's no guarantees with it. Don't buy the low K car. When we purchased our 120, it was the highest kilometre, cheapest price 120 I could find in 2014. Yes, it was 28,000. Well, I think it was advertised for 30, but I think I got it for 20. I can't even remember, high 20s anyway, 28.4, or was it plus on road, or was that, I don't know, about 29, 30 grand, so it owes me, plus of course all that work we've done, so it owes me 50 anyway, right? And as far as I'm concerned, it's the best 120 out there. A little bit rough around the edges, it gets used, but mechanically awesome and very clean inside. Right, so that's my point though, 196K. There was plenty with 100,000 and 60,000 and all that back then. In 2014, you get an 09, yeah, 100,000 Ks. Man, I'm going to pay 45 grand, dream, and what for? I'm just going to take it off road. And I still don't know the history and what they've done, and service history, and injectors are still soon enough going to need to be done, like if you buy one now. Oh, it's only got 150,000 Ks. Well, guess what? It's just due for injectors. Oh, it's been done? Yeah, but we don't know what with or who did it, so it's still due for injectors. You get one with 400,000 Ks, I picked it up for 12 grand. I'm going, good on you. Guess what? It's due for injectors, right? But who cares because you got it for 12 grand. So what's that? 17 and do some other stuff, 20, 22, 23, but you know, 25 grand. Beautiful. You got an awesome car for 25 grand. So you spend 12, expect to spend another 12 on it, 25 grand. You got a better car than that $40,000 car. Okay, so bada bing, right? We're going to have it in more detail. This is too much detail, right? This pretty well covered it, didn't it? Yeah. Anyway, next subject. I hope you get my drift. Stop getting ripped off on used cars. I'm not telling you to buy a new one, but if you've got to pay 40, this is the problem. If you've got to pay 40 or 40, even for a, you know, a 150 Prado, if you're buying a 2012, 13, 14, it's going to cost you, I don't know, 50 grand, 55 or something like that. Depends what it's got on it and the condition. Lots of factors, varying factors, right? General information here, of course. I haven't got any cars in front of me. But I'm like, well, you might as well pay 60. Now, you know I don't like the 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19 until the remap. We'll call it the remap to keep us on the 150s, on the 1GD. And I'm not a fan of the engine. It's little. It's got a lot of lag with a big turbo, so it takes forever. You put your foot down and waiting, and then it takes off like a rocket. So that's good once it goes, but you got that delay there. The revs, it's just got to get moving and roll off the line, and then bang, away she goes, right? So there is a bigger delay there than the older ones. But of course, it is a dream to drive on the highway. If you want to do towing up to reasonable weights, not 3 ton or more and GV upgrades, what a load of rubbish, right? But if you want to do towing with it, the transmission software is perfect in my opinion. I love it. It's got that little bit more power and torque, so it does the job. As long as you're not heavy, it actually would do an awesome job towing. And we're going to prove the point. We're going to get a tow bar on this soon. We're going to get a caravan, a boat, and this and that. And we're going to tow it around and actually do some real world actual what it is instead, because you hear so many things. Oh, I hate mine for towing. Oh, I love mine for towing. It does it easy, you know. Like, so let's get a perspective that's in the middle of the road, right? All right, next subject. I think we pretty well covered everything. So we've got a new grease gun here. This is the one, right? Look at that. Oh, it's 10 years warranty. Okay, cool. So what's good about this one, something to think about, flexible hose is good to be able to flex into, you know, because if you've got a straight tube on, say, the Prado, for example, you could, out of the 6 of them, you can get to 4 of them, but you need a flexible one for the other 2. So that's all right. I've actually got a little grease gun. You know those, what are they, 85 gram, an old made in Japan one, passed down from my grandfather. It's awesome. I use that for the 2 that are hard to get to with a flexi hose. It's really old, but it's quality. And we just hand pack that one because it's small, chuck a bit of grease into it. You can just, you know, put it in the tub and suck it. You know, that's how you're meant to do it, like a syringe. Suck the grease in, but you can do that and just top it up with your finger and whatever. You just wipe it on the side of the tub. Happy days anyway. But the reason this one's good, because you've got the flexible, right? Because so finish what I was saying. So I've got the other big gun I've got, it's got the straight tube on it, because that's handy too. It's easy to push it on and off sort of thing and hold it on there while you You know, if you've got a bit of a dodgy nipple or something, you can sort of push it on while you're pumping. You know, it's got the, you know, lever on it, you know. But the reason this one's good, because it's flexy, so it covers pretty much everything, because you've got your other hand. See, look, one-handed operation. It says it right on the box, right? You get what I'm saying? So one hand to hold it on, and look. Right, so this is the one that I chose this time, bada bing. So we're going to have a few grease guns, and this is the grease, right? You can use that pretty much just about anything. You can use that in your CV boots, you know, your CVs and all that, all your driveline stuff, you know, pretty well everything. There's a few different greases we got here, but, you know, that covers a lot of stuff. Use rubber grease for rubber. Use the copperies for other stuff like your brake pads. Don't put this on brake pads, and don't, you know, you can put this on your suspension rubbers if you want, but I wouldn't. It's just messy. Rubber grease, copperies, and the moly grease EP3% are the ones we mainly use. And the last thing here, that set of injectors from one of the videos you might have seen that came out of someone's vehicle, but he's really fussy, like me. We love fussy people. The injectors were 7 years old. They hadn't done that many Ks. The readings were sort of up there on the edge, you know, time to replace it. He's moving interstate. He just wanted to get it done before he went, and he was happy because it's done 7 years, right? So, and look, I just went, these are too good to go to waste. So I just decided rather than throw them out, let's pass them on to someone. So at a very low price, yeah, they were free. It was just packing time VIP group and all the seals, gaskets, extra, all the extra stuff like that. You know, you'll see when you get the package. And it still took a lot of time, even more work than a normal injector kit, to clean and prepare those so that he can get them out and go boom and pretty well put them straight in. All the right parts included. And that will save another vehicle because somebody he knows is saving for injectors. Sounds like it could be a slow process. And this will sort of buy in a couple of years before it needs to be done, and at least it won't have the blow-by situation. If you don't know what I'm talking about, get on that Inject the Information playlist. Please check out the EGR playlist while you're there as well. So when you receive a set of used injectors and pipes from us, if you get lucky and, you know, you're watching the videos, you're subscribed with the bell on, like I said at the start, there might be a set of injectors, right? You know, cheap, whatever the case may be. And there was a few people looking for these ones, but I can't remember who you are. So you need to be watching the videos, and when they come out, you need to be the first reply like this person was and say, hey, can I have those? And then we changed the title of it to sold. So, you know, don't get excited as soon as before you watch the video, sold. And then when you see it and I say, oh, when they're sold, I'll change, you know, you've already seen sold, right? So you got to be quick. You got to be all over it. That's why you subscribe, turn the bell on. Right, set yourself up a little Google account. You don't have to use your real name if you don't want, just so that you can have an account there and subscribe and turn the bell on so you don't miss stuff. In my opinion, that's what you should do anyway. What you need to do when you get these, right, is we take the pipes off, we cap them. We don't clean them or anything like that. The injectors, we clean, cap, we prevent contamination to the... I've got a really good system, almost guarantee, otherwise I wouldn't waste time doing this. So because of these ones were really clean, right? Like I said, he's fussy, he looks after, he keeps it clean. He doesn't go drive it through muddy bog holes and all that. There's more cleaning than driving going on. See, this is the problem. The paintwork has got that much wax on it. I reckon that's about 3 millimeters thick. It's so smooth, probably gets 5 litres per 100 Ks. Of course, I'm exaggerating and just joking around a bit, but the point is he keeps it clean. So all I do, we cap them, we spray some inox on the pipe, so, you know, no more rust or corrosion while they're out, anything like that. But the fuel pipes, you need to blow them with compressed air, spray some carby cleaner through them. Probably not blow them again because compressed air has moisture in it. Just let that carby cleaner dry. Make sure all the ends are clean. But the final thing you want to do after you get any dirt and debris off the pipes that can be reused only 3 times on the same injectors, just make sure they're clean. Carby cleaner, let it evaporate and put them on. Happy days. Get the vehicle running, get them in ASAP, because of course they've been in and out. They've been exposed to air. It's not a big deal as long as you get it done. You know, don't let them sit around for months. You know what I mean? Don't open up. You know, they're all sealed up again at the moment. They're all capped as soon as they come out. Don't get me wrong. It's all good, but you know what? Just get them in there and get them working. Injectors don't like sitting around, especially kind of like once they've been used. I suppose it doesn't really make any difference. They've got diesel in them anyway. But I can tell you, we've seen injectors that have been left sitting around when they come back for the free contamination check. You know, where we you know, strip them down and pull all these things apart, and you know, they look to be sealed and capped and all that sort of thing. And guess what? Yeah, they've got contamination in there. So bada bing. Yep, and there's the phone number for ordering parts, upside down, 0410-261-013. Bada bing, bada boom. That's a video. I know it was a long one, but hey, look at all the info in there. Hope you liked it. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn the bell on, and we'll probably have a bit more information on these 3 subjects coming soon. Bit of a long one. Might have to drop this one out on a Sunday night. People love relaxing on a Sunday night. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you on the next one. Bye.